Hi everybody, my name is Lauren and welcome back to my channel, Plants and Tings. You guys know I'm always bragging about the planty people down here in the DFW area, so I found a great planty person to showcase their collection for you guys. So stay tuned because she has some great plants in an awesome cabinet. Alright guys, so this is Skye, and so Skye, thank you so much for having us to show your collection. I've already taken a sneak peek and let me tell you, it's great. So what got you into collecting plants?
My best friend was actually into plants before me, and so COVID was still going on pretty strong, and so I needed some hobby to latch onto. That was the start.
That's been like that for a lot of people. I know a lot of people feel that way. COVID kind of helped them jump into plants, and there's nothing wrong with that. It was a great hobby to pick up. I'm sure you love it.
Yes, I will say it was very impulsive. So I think that was a trend among people who started their collection during that time, is that it became sort of a comfort. And so I definitely killed a lot of plants during that time.
I mean, trust me, I'm still killing plants. So it's just a part of the game. So you said you started collecting back around COVID time. So it's been what, 2 years or so?
2 years.
Okay, and it was a friend that got you into it. Awesome. Okay, great. So how many plants do you think you have? If you've ever counted?
I have, but in my greenhouse, it's kind of hard to tell. So I'd say around 40 to 50.
Okay, that's a nice size. Honestly, I'm a little more than that, and I'm getting a little overwhelmed. So that sounds like a good size of amount of plants to have. So do you have a favorite plant? What would you say your favorite plant is right now?
Oh, that's tough. I gotta look around real quick. My Anthurium pallidiform. That's definitely my favorite.
And I hear that's a hard one, but I can tell you right now that hers is not struggling. Okay.
Yeah.
So, all right. Cool. All right. So let's just see what you have going on.
Okay.
Okay. So we are in the first little corner of Skye's plant. So Skye, you take it away and tell us what's going on here.
So it's basically the Pothos corner. So I have on the left a
You can point, it doesn't matter. Your hands can be in there.
I have a Pothos over here that was from my late grandfather. He didn't care for it properly, but we would go in there and water it every once in a while, so he felt like he was doing something.
Oh, that's cute. That's how it is with me and my mom and her plants. She doesn't really take care of plants, I do.
What was it, the ferns?
Do we have? No,
it wasn't the ferns.
Her orchids.
Orchids, orchids.
I take care of those orchids. Continue, sorry.
I've also got this Hawaiian pothos, which is really just a golden pothos that's been able to thrive in a more natural environment.
So is there really no such thing as a Hawaiian pothos?
I wouldn't say so, no. So if you go to, say, Hawaii, you'll see them growing everywhere, and a lot of people mistake them for Alba Monsteras. But really, they're just
really big, great pothos.
Yes.
Wow, we're learning stuff here, guys. Okay, go ahead.
Yes, so this is a prime example of that. This is a golden pothos. This is not some special pothos. A lot of people think that the Hawaiian pothos is some, hybrid
species. Yeah.
But it really is just the same thing.
It's a great pothos.
Yeah.
So you bought it this size, though?
Yes, I did.
Here in the U.S.?
I had it transported.
Oh.
Yes.
You smuggled it in. Okay. Interesting. From Hawaii?
I don't know if it was from Hawaii, but I know that it's actually very invasive in Hawaii, so they're trying to get rid of it.
Interesting, and we want it here more.
Yes.
Interesting. Okay, so how long have you had this one?
Oh, it's got to be at least a year.
Okay.
And it only more recently started producing more growth, and because it's not growing out in the wild, the leaves are still smaller, but they're still bigger than you typically see.
Yeah, they're still much bigger than a regular pothos. So you saying it doesn't grow as fast as a pothos?
For the amount or the size of the leaves, I would say it doesn't.
Okay.
And I don't even know if anyone successfully has gotten to that size here.
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
Okay. Yeah, that's this corner.
Oh, these are all connected.
So these are just 3 separate.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
so this here, that's going up really nicely.
This is the first Hawaiian Pothos I got. Pothos.
Which is, okay. Honestly, I did not realize these were the same plant. Wow, okay.
And then this is...
And then that's the one from the
granddaddy.
Okay, got it. And then that's the second one. So there's only 3 plants here, guys.
There's only 3.
Like the whole thing here, but there's only 3 plants here. Wow. Okay, great start. And we're over here, so might as well look at this bad boy.
So this is an Anthurium.
Oh my god!
In a very plastic white pot.
Sorry, I almost ruined her right there.
No, it's okay.
I'm not gonna touch anything else.
No, this is an Anthurium magnificum. The leaves are definitely too heavy for the pot, so I'm working with the devil right here. But I bought this as a rehab, and funny enough, the most healthy leaf I'd say is this sad leaf, but you can tell
It's dark though, nice and dark.
It's dark, the leaf is thick and healthy, and these other ones are a bit flimsy and sad.
I see, they're kind of a little translucent around the edges here like that, but this one is much thicker and firmer.
Yes.
I see what you're saying, yeah.
So hopefully...
Perfection is not beauty, guys.
Unfortunately not. I've also got a Syngonium reiki over here.
Yeah.
And that was just kind of a place I put it because it was overtaking my greenhouse. And it really needs a more humid environment, so that's where it is for now.
Okay, so if you have a reiki and it's not thriving, it needs more humidity, guys. Look at these aerial roots in here. Going crazy. Nice. So when you have it like this and she has it covered to keep the humidity in, yes?
Yes.
Okay.
Does
it have holes in there or is it just covered completely?
It's just covered, and occasionally I'll let it air out. I'll take the top off.
Got it.
Ideally, this would have a drainage layer at the base.
Oh, yes, I have seen those.
Yes, but I don't currently. But I'll show you what that looks like when it comes to the greenhouse.
Okay. But it's still thriving, even with no drainage layer.
Yeah.
I know that's like a huge controversy, drainage, no drainage, you know.
I feel like you could do both.
I do too.
For sure.
Yeah. I don't really do drainage like that. And it's not like because I'm against it, I just am too lazy to do more steps.
Yeah.
So that is all. So how often do you feel like you have to water this, being that it's already closed in there?
Almost never. In most terrariums, you really don't have to water it more than a couple times a year.
Whoa. I knew it wasn't often, but a couple times a year was not expecting.
Yes.
Okay. Maybe that's what I need to do. So we are on the top shelf, so I'm gonna stand back so you guys can see how she has this set up here very nicely. She has the 2 grow lights here at the bottom and one at the top. They're off right now just because of lighting purposes, but let's get closer. Okay, so go ahead.
So forgive me for not knowing all the names for these ones. Funny enough, this plant right here is the same one, came from the same pot as the one in the yellow.
Oh, okay, I see the resemblance.
So this is the second plant I've ever bought. So I actually bought this one in 2018.
Oh,
yes.
Okay.
And it would be a lot more lush if my care wasn't terrible back then. So back then I hadn't started actually collecting houseplants. So this is one of those plants you just buy and you never water it again. But luckily it survived until now.
And I'm trying to figure out what I think it might be. Maybe
I think it's a baby rubber.
I was thinking
baby green.
Some type of rubber tree.
So I don't know the name of this one. I know it's a philodendron, but it's got very interesting leaves.
Oh, this one. I thought we were talking about that one.
This one right here, yeah.
Maybe, I don't know either. It gives me 69686, but it's
does, but
big.
It's definitely not.
No, yeah, it's not as big. Here.
This is a burrow marks. It's actually 2 plants in 1 pot.
I see here, yeah. This thing just grows insanely. Like, it just doesn't care about a growth pattern.
And I love that about it. Oops.
1 second, guys.
There we go.
Okay.
There we go.
So you love that. Continue.
Yes, and one of them I bought because it had 1 variegated node.
Really?
Yes, so it was on sale, and so my hope was that a leaf would come from that node. And it never did.
Oh, is it on here still?
So what I did, I actually cut it off.
Oh, okay.
And it's in the greenhouse now, and I'm actually seeing some growth from it.
Okay, so we'll look at that in a little bit later. Stay tuned if you want to see how that's doing.
This is the Anthurium crystallinum.
Everyone loves a good crystallinum.
Yes, and it's looking a little wonky. In fact, there's some mold spots on it, and that's because it was in the greenhouse before I really got the parameters correct. And so I went ahead and took it out as it grows a little wide. So I've got some more room in there now. And so I also have 2 albosingoniums.
This one here.
And they do need some repotting because it's looking a little sad.
Let's try to grow out the pot.
Yes, but the local plant shop has been or was adding these as freebies in their purges.
Oh, wow. That's nice.
So I think that's how I acquired these 2.
That's really nice.
Yeah. And this one's actually got some nicer variegation on it.
This one's a little lighter.
Yeah.
Do you find that you get a little more variegation with more light, or did you get it like this? Ooh, this one's pretty.
Definitely more light helps with variegation.
Okay.
It's tricky too because you don't want too much.
Yeah.
And so if you give it too much light, it's more likely to produce a single white leaf, and it can't absorb sunlight that way.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's it for that corner right there. So
Next level,
I believe, is this a marble queen?
I think so, yes. I think this is the marble one. Or maybe it's a snow queen.
It might be the snow queen.
I think it's a snow queen because there's no green, like plain green on it. So I think the snow queen is the one that's all marbled.
Okay.
Yeah, let's call it a snow queen.
Okay, it's a queen. I've also got this guy. He's a Hoya.
Oh yeah, obovata.
Yes.
I love a good obovata. Oh, look how far it's going up. I'm still going.
And I'm not an expert with Hoya, so
Me neither.
I've kind of acquired them, and so they're just here and there.
They seem to be pretty easy though.
They really are. And I've got this guy too. He's hidden.
Oh, that's a cool. What's this? Not a cactus.
It is a cactus,
Oh,
actually.
okay. I was thinking euphorbia.
And I'm actually not sure what type this is either.
Some type of ghost something they probably call it.
Yes, and I got this on sale because it wasn't completely rooted at the time, and luckily in my care, it has now rooted.
Oh, good. We love a good sale on some plants.
Yes. I have a philodendron lemon lime.
Yes. Have y'all ever seen one trailing like that? I have not. I always see people growing them up, but I like it like this. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I was very hesitant to have it just trail down like that, but I realized, no one else is really doing that.
No, yeah.
And I take a lot of my inspiration from Benji Plant on YouTube.
Yeah.
And one of the things he does is, has an approach that's a little different than other people. So instead of trying to, for example, have a plant grow all the way around, he'll just have it be leggy in the back and it grows out in the front.
Exactly, yeah.
So I like that. It looks a little wonky.
But it fills out the space nicely. I think it trails nicely.
So, I forget the name, but this is the cheaper one. There's another version of this one that looks...
Maybe confetti or red spot or
confetti.
something like that.
It's the confetti, yeah.
But it looks so similar.
Yes, the other one is the West Green, I believe.
Okay.
Yes, but this one's been upset in my care at times, but
it looks pretty. I think it looks good.
I would say the care isn't that hard. It's the Millsbo Tall.
Tall, okay.
Yes, and I actually had planned to get the short, and this is all they had, and I'm really glad this is all they had.
Yeah, because you filled it out nicely.
Yes,
okay.
And if you'd like to take a closer look.
I would, and as we're taking a closer look here, you can tell me, so how long did it take you to do the setup of this?
So just making it before really putting the plants in, it took me a couple of days of just relentlessly working on it. I'm really bad at making a project, spanning it out over a week or so.
I just want to get it done.
Yes, because I'm so excited to get to this stage. But the plants, I've been adding those every week or so as time goes on.
And sorry, I'm too distracted. I was gonna ask you, so was it difficult to put this all together? So you have like the bump outs here and everything. Like I've seen people build them, but is it as easy as they try to make it seem on YouTube?
It really isn't easy, and
I'm not surprised.
And it's not as cheap. Like once you buy the cabinet, it's easy to think, well, that's the bulk of the cost. It really isn't. The amount of silicone and foam you have to buy, as well as mainly the moss for the wall.
Yeah, moss is expensive.
It is so expensive, and I really wanted live moss. But
this is live moss or no?
Some of it is. So most of it's sphagnum moss, but
I see. So is this part?
Yes, here and there you're gonna find some real live moss as well as over there.
Oh, that's so cute. Hold on, look at that real moss, guys.
This is a mystery plant to me. It's another one of those common house plants I should know the name of, but it is overtaking the greenhouse.
I see.
I had originally just put a couple strands on this side of the wall, and it has just overtaken.
It's now all the way over here, guys.
Yes, and
even this is a part of it too?
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
And I've actually grown to like it. At first I was a little overwhelmed. I thought it would overwhelm the space.
Wait, I'm sorry. This part of it as well?
I actually think I took a cutting
and
put it down there.
Okay.
And over the course of maybe a few weeks, it's already come up here, and I'm going to have to cut it again.
Wow, so this is a great grower for cabinets, but beware, it may overtake.
Yes. But you can have an easy propagation with it. So over time, I just kind of put whatever I wanted in here. Now, Benji plant, for example, he highly recommended putting plants in there that would take time to fill the space and not anything too big. I didn't want to do that because I wanted it to be how I pictured it to be.
Yes, you wanted it to look like it like that, like right now.
Yes. But I realized even when I put in the plants that I really wanted to put in, it didn't really start looking lush until random weeds started coming out of the moss. So,
for example,
all of these, any type of small plant that you see, I did not put these in here.
Oh wow, these ferns, you didn't put this in here?
Nope.
This is a fern that I almost bought this fern, and you just grew it for free out of your moss.
Yeah, so just buy some sphagnum moss.
And you'll get some free ferns.
Yes.
That is so funny. So all of these.
All of those.
That is so funny. This just came and grew up out of her moss, guys. This whole thing,
that whole thing.
Here, that is so funny.
So that, I'm very happy about that.
Yeah, and it looks nice though. It
really
looks like you
does.
put it there. It's growing so well. That's funny.
So that's another thing that helps kind of cover the brownness of the cabinet. I'm hoping over time to add more live moss as I go. And unfortunately, I did have more in the beginning, and I just didn't do well because it takes time to get your parameters right in a setting like this.
So what do you mean when you say parameters?
So basically, the humidity in there, as well as airflow.
Airflow is big. Yeah.
Yes, and so my issue was it was drying out really quickly. That's because I didn't have any weather stripping on the sides. So I have weather stripping on the sides.
Okay. So
yes.
Okay, so this here she has for the weather stripping. Okay.
Because before that, I also found, because the sides would dry out so quickly, I could not grow anything on this side.
On the sides, okay.
And again, I drew inspiration from Benji Plant, and he had a Bromark's Fantasy wall. And so I took inspiration, and I chopped up mine, and so that's what all of these are.
So can you explain to us this setup that how do you have your humidity coming in here like this?
So what I did was I drilled a hole on the top of the cabinet.
back there.
And that's where I fish in all of the cords. And so that's where I have the humidifier tube going through.
Which is this here. So that's interesting because we don't really see humidifiers like that with a tube that you can connect it to.
That's very important.
Yeah.
Because it would really ruin the view on the inside if I were to have to add the humidifier within it.
On the inside,
yes. Yeah. And I'm lucky to not have to add a fan. So I don't really have mold growth. I have a couple of spots, but generally you would add a fan to combat. So this is a mystery Anthurium. But I really liked it.
I can't even tell you what I think it is.
I have no idea, but I really love how bright the veins are. And that's what really stuck out to me first.
Maybe a magnificum? It's not crystalline, so it's not a crystallinum or forgetti or anything like that.
No.
Maybe some type of verde something.
Maybe.
Because I see the veining, the crystally veining in there.
Yeah.
But it is a little more like brighter green, but I don't know if that's the light or... But the lobes are kind of overlapped.
Yeah, I noticed that too. So we'll see a definite crystallinum in here.
Okay.
Or actually, no, clarinervium.
Okay.
Clarinervium.
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
So we can compare to that.
Well, if y'all think y'all know what kind of Anthurium this is, let us know. So what's this little flower-looking thing up there?
So that is a butterwort carnivorous plant.
Is that something that takes up fungus nets?
Yes.
Oh, I've heard of that. It's so cute.
I love it, and it will get much bigger than that as well.
Okay, so this is your natural sticky traps, guys.
Yes. And funny you mentioned that. I had a huge gnat problem when I set this up. And
okay.
That's not something any video I've watched mentions.
Never heard of that.
Yes, so, and it makes sense. You have moss all over the place, and then you have a thing of soil at the bottom. And so it was definitely a tough battle. And so I have gnat traps at the top, just sticking to the top of the greenhouse.
Oh, see how she did that? You don't even see them? But they're up there. Great. Okay.
But the main thing I did, which when I did it, I didn't know if it would work or if it was okay. So I was very worried when I started spraying the cabinet, was a mixture of a little bit of soap, a little bit of neem oil, and water.
Yeah, they know we love neem oil over here, so they're not afraid of that.
But I didn't know if it would work because they have to bite into it.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
It works.
Okay.
I've almost gotten rid of all of the gnats. You saw one flying here or there. But
oh, hold up, guys. Y'all know I've been going ham for neem oil in the last however many videos you've been hearing me talk about. This is somebody else now. It's not me no more saying that it works. Okay, sorry, carry on.
And I usually only use neem oil as a preventative measure. And I would have never really thought to use it against gnats, but...
Me neither.
This has definitely worked, and that's my go-to at this point. Every time I water with neem oil. Oh,
every time you spray down the cabinet,
yes,
it has that mixture of neem oil and soap.
Yes.
Okay.
So I have another Syngonium rehi in here, some begonias, and I don't know the names of all the begonias, but
it's hard.
I could always fish them up.
Yeah, but I like them because they always add a little color. Give you a little pop of color against all the green. Is this the same one over here?
That one is different.
Okay.
That's actually
I see now that it's different, yeah.
Yeah, Begonia Raja, I know the name of that one.
Okay.
So next is the big boy here.
Yeah, can't ignore it.
So this is an ace of spades.
This is all the same plant.
That's all, these three leaves are the same plant.
Ace of spades.
And I'm proud to say that this is the one that's been grown in my care, so it came with those two leaves.
She didn't do that one, she did this one.
Yeah, and I'm really happy with that one.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Honestly, I got it for the biggest deal, once in a lifetime kind of situation.
Okay, tell us about that because we like to hear stuff like that.
So, this local plant shop was very generous. So when it had two leaves, it was probably worth, at least $250. I'm gonna say 200, 250. I got it for 50.
What?
Yes.
Okay.
And I shouldn't have. I was like, are you sure?
They know what they had.
Yes. They knew Well, they had a huge one, and they're like, well, I'm just going to take a cutting. They didn't take a cutting. They took it out of the ground, so it had roots. It had
roots. So they said, we'll give you a cutting. They thought they was, oh, wow.
So they were definitely very, very generous, and that's the only reason I have an ace of space today.
Wow, that is, I'm going to ask her the name of the shop off camera.
Yeah.
Wow, okay, interesting. Okay, continue.
So the next and my favorite here is the Anthurium pallidiform.
Hold on.
I hope I'm saying that right.
Yeah, pallidiform, yeah. Do you see the shimmer, guys?
I think that right one all the way over there has the best.
Which one, this one?
Yeah.
Oh, hold on, I'm sorry, guys, I'm not focused. There we go. Nice, okay, continue talking.
So this one came from Eugenera.
Oh, yes,
So I had ordered this one as a seedling. It came this size.
What? Okay, so I've heard that happen with Eugenera before. Like, the people will order a seedling and they get this ridiculously sized plant. Yes. So then in the future they try to order a seedling again. And it doesn't. It's not a big plant. So that's crazy. It came this size. Right? Yes. So all of this is one plant, or did you split it?
One plant.
Whoa.
Yeah, and only 2 of those leaves have grown in my care. So it was already really large.
Yeah.
So that was exciting. I've been very lucky with these plants.
Because it fills it out so nicely.
Yes, and my only issue is that it does cover a large space back here.
Okay, so you can't really put much back there.
Yes, so I'm trying to look out for some low light plants.
That'll do okay there.
Yeah, so we'll see.
Nice. Okay, Eugenera, because sometimes Eugenera come through and then sometimes they be acting crazy.
So I've got some more begonias. This one right here was a cutting.
Oh, that one is nice. Okay, I actually think that someone gave me a cutting like this before and I killed it like 2 days later because I'm pretty sure that's one that I had. I don't know, I thought, oh, it needs great humidity. Let me put it in my little cabinet thing, and it still just gave up. It's still crisped up and just...
You know, it's funny you say that because when I first set this up, before I got the parameters right and everything, I put this very well-established begonia raja in there.
Which is this one.
Yes, and it withered up and died immediately.
Really?
Immediately.
Maybe it's just a shock thing then, because I know begonias like humidity.
I think this just wasn't established enough. I don't think it was humid enough. I don't think the lights were up to par at the time. I just think a cabinet is hard to set up in the first couple months.
Yeah, there's a lot of fixing, adjusting, figuring out, and all of that.
Yeah. I have some more carnivorous plants. That's sundew.
I love carnivorous plants, but I had one for a week, and I killed it.
So I've got a couple of plants in here that are kind of still in the pot because I'm afraid to take this out.
But that's the same thing as that one?
It's a carnivorous plant. It's not the same thing. Okay. So they both have the same concept of creating dewdrops.
To attract the...
Yeah, so they get the gnats and whatnot stuck. But I really don't know the names.
Me neither. I couldn't even try to help you. But so you have so like you said, you have a couple of carnivorous plants in here, so you feel like that helps with pests?
It will over time, but the butterwort is the only one that's established enough to actually be catching them.
Oh, okay, so it has to be more mature enough for it to actually be effective.
Yeah.
Okay. So these ones, guys, are not quite mature enough, but this one over here,
he's just started to be.
And he's so cute.
Yeah.
Okay. So I cannot stop looking at this varicosum. This varicosum, okay, this is what we wish our varicosum looked like. Okay, do you see the depths and the shimmer? These leaves are still going. Okay, is this still? No, that's a different one. Okay. Oh my goodness. Okay, talk to me about this varicosum.
Yes. So I would have never dreamed that it would get to this size.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to figure out where did it start at.
So what's funny is it started. I had it moved up here. And the leaves started getting to the size unexpectedly. Yeah. And so I actually chopped it. And I chopped it right where it started to get. The leaves started to get bigger. And I took the cuttings and I kind of stuck them back into the wall here. And I have another propagating in a different little prop box. But I had to move this down to give it more room to keep getting bigger.
Yeah, so it can have some room to just take over.
Yeah, so that's exciting because the leash should keep getting bigger like this.
Yeah, it's attached to the wall. So
yes. So
which varicosum is this one?
I think it's just a regular varicosum.
Okay, because there's so many different varieties of them.
Yeah.
And not all of them are this, what's the word? Like this much color depth to it.
Yeah, and you usually see them just like this one right here.
Yeah.
And that's the same one.
Okay, so I guess just as it matures, it gets more of its velvety dark shimmeriness.
Yes.
Okay.
So I never knew it looked like that.
I've seen it like that and been like, why does it mine to look like that? But it needs some more time. Okay, goals.
All right. And this is the Clarinervium I was talking about.
Okay. And see, this has the overlapping lobes. Maybe that one?
It's similar, but this one's more long, I feel like.
It is more elongated, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, this one's definitely more chubby.
Round like I like it. So I think, it's starting to put out a new leaf as well.
That's exciting. This little guy, cute.
Yeah, so that's the first leaf I've gotten since I've gotten this. So
how long has it been since you set this up?
Oh man, the exact time I'd have to check it because I am curious.
Yeah, let me know so people can kind of have an idea of like when you set it up, how long it's gonna take to actually start seeing it fill out. Because like you said too, when you started yours, you wanted it to be like, looking great immediately.
Yeah.
But it takes time.
It does take time. And it really depends on what you do with the cabinet. Again, I put bigger plants in there. So it's actually been probably about 7 months.
7 months, okay. So it took 7 months to get here. That's actually not long.
It's not too bad.
It's not too bad at all.
So definitely my next goal is to get some live moss in here.
Look at, come on. Is this a little Siltopacana? I think it's a little, right?
Is that the Tetrasperma?
I think it's a Monstera Siltopacana.
No, I think you're right. Yeah.
I think so.
You know what? I don't know where that came from.
Really?
So it must have.
So you never owned a Monstera Siltopacana?
I don't know if it ended up in like a cutting or another plant, but I never bought one.
Okay.
So I just kind of ended up with it.
Never bought this plant, but it's here.
Yes.
Amazing.
I was so surprised when it popped up. I really didn't know what to think, but it's there.
Well,
it's doing its thing.
Free plants. So.
Yes.
Okay.
So next we have our queen herself.
Of course, gotta have a queen.
And this is her first leaf since I've owned her. So that is definitely exciting.
Nice.
And I love with Anthuriums, you really don't know how large the leaf is going to get.
No, because they start off so tiny, right?
Yes.
It's exciting. That's
my favorite, of course, of the Anthuriums.
Look at that bright venation. Oh, what's this guy next to him? Is this a...
It's a sport Monstera Ansonii.
Oh, it's a nice size.
Yeah.
Oh, I do see the little variegation on there.
And it was only $10.
$10? Wow.
Yes.
Very good.
Yeah.
So this is nice because it's like one big prop box.
Oh yeah, if I want to prop something, I just
sticks in here and come out with plants. What's this tied up over here?
This one. I actually don't know. I think it's some type of Hoya, but I snagged it just a couple weeks ago at a reptile expo.
Oh, okay. Oh, this is the stick of it. Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah, so apparently they like high humidity, but they don't like to be directly on a wet surface.
Okay, so that's why it's tied to, is it a rock, wood? Piece of wood.
Piece of wood, yeah. Okay. So we'll see what happens. I've got that begonia down here.
Oh, the burrow marks.
Burrow marks.
Yeah, this is the variegated part.
Yeah, so that was just a node.
Nice.
So I'm very proud that it even exists. I've got a pitcher plant over here.
Oh, that's the carnivorous plant I hadn't killed in 2 days.
See, I've had a lot of these as well and had killed them.
Okay.
Before I had the cabinet.
Okay.
Yes, and I got most of my carnivorous plants from the same person I did a little online shopping with.
Okay.
Or I think I bought it from a purge. So I got some freebies too.
Do you do a lot of Facebook purges?
That's actually my preferred way.
Me too.
Yeah, I definitely prefer the purges because you do get more access to plants you've never seen before.
Exactly. Yeah.
And for great deals.
Agreed.
I will say what sucks is that I feel like you can't sell plants online for what they're worth.
That is true.
So I could never comfortably sell anything and trust that I would
get your value, really.
Yes. So that's the only downside.
And that may just be too, the market of plants is just becoming really, I don't know if accessible is the word, but there's a lot more plants out there, so it is lowering the value of plants. So the resale on plants is not always that great. So basically you just need to buy plants because you love them, because you're not sure. So a lot of people do buy them as investments. If that's your job, that's what you do, of course. But if you're just a plant collector like the rest of us, don't be expected to get big bucks back on your plants.
Because you might buy it for $60 and it's worth $30 the next couple of weeks.
Exactly.
I have a couple of Milano cuttings here and there.
So how do you plant? So when you plant these in here, you just stick them in the moss? This looks like it's just hanging out there.
So I actually, and that's a question I have for Benji Plant, because he just seems to stick them in there. I use wire.
Okay.
So that's how I pretty much put anything in here.
I see a little bit. This has a little wire.
Yes.
So this is not a Virgo sun.
It is, but it's a sunset. It's Amazon sunset.
Oh, you know what I thought it was? A luxuriance.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
I can see why.
Guys, look at that. It is an Amazon sunset. It does have the look of a luxuriance, though. Wow. Beautiful. So 2 different varicosums in here.
Yes, and the interesting story with this one, I did mention I had gotten a sad plant from Ecogenera.
Oh, yes, Ecogenera, yeah.
So when I went to pick up the Palladiform, they have very sad transports scattered around that you can buy for a discount. And so I got this guy as a stick.
Oh.
Yeah, so he was a stick, no leaves. He also had root rot. I didn't know until I unboxed him and everything. But more recently, I was able to successfully propagate him. Something funny, though, is that the original stick I had, I thought that it was rooted, but actually everything, all these leaves are rooted into the wall. And so I went to uncover the stick, and it had no roots attached to it. So I just cut the stick off. It has no
actual roots in the ground. Well, they are epiphytes, right? That is a true epiphyte there.
Yes.
It's growing on the wall, not in the ground.
Another one I have back here is another Milano.
Okay.
But
I see him.
You see that big leaf at the bottom?
Yeah.
So that is another part of the Milano. And I got that from a friend who got it through Ecogenera as well. But the leaves got smaller and smaller.
They're hard.
Yes.
Models. If you don't buy them mature, they just look crazy sometimes.
Right. So I got it from them with the hope that they would get big again in my care. So we'll see.
I mean, I think in this environment it might do very well.
Yes.
What's this little guy?
So that's a Billy.
Oh, I think it is a Billy Etienne.
Yeah, it is.
Baby Billy. Oh,
the babiest I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's a baby Billy. You can see the petioles on the orange.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is the babiest Billy ever seen.
Yeah, so he was a good deal.
I mean, she better be.
I've got a really, really sad forgetty eye back here. And so I bought it like this.
Okay.
Or acquired it. It's a long story. Got this guy. He had 2 leaves on him. He had both aphids and I think mealies. And again, I got him like that, and I was like, I'm going to treat it. Everything's going to be great.
You did it before you put it in here.
Right. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And I have an aggressive treatment when it's that bad that causes this to happen.
Okay, damage on the leaves.
Yeah, and I knew that was the only way to treat it, but was hoping that it would get better before it got worse, so I don't see any growth yet.
It's okay, we're hopeful.
Yeah.
Oh, what's that little thing hiding out down there?
It's a pink princess.
Oh, look at the pink. Hold on, you guys need to see.
A prime example of a plant that used to be worth a lot.
Yes, that is now at Dollar Tree.
It's crazy. I did not buy it for a cheap price. So that one is a Doc Block Mag hybrid.
Nice. I kind of see the little pinky ready coming up. Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay.
There you go. You can see the pink reddish veining.
Yeah.
Nice. I love black crosses.
And I got that one as a trade. I had a really not mature VTI, and that just wasn't doing well at the time. So I was like, I'm going to bite the bullet. I'm going to trade it.
That was a good trade to me.
Yes.
Yeah. And what's this? Some Scindapsus here?
Some Scindapsus. I don't remember the name of that one either. See, the Scindapsus plants I had purchased healthy a long time ago when I didn't know what I was doing. So I never memorized the names.
Yeah, back then it didn't matter what the name was. You just liked the plant, right?
Right. So I still luckily had some cuttings of them.
I think this one is a Tribii moon, maybe.
Okay, the moon part sounds right.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with all these Silverian Pictus ones.
Yeah.
So we'll say that it's one of those.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay, and this little guy.
So I had purchased for really cheap these sad Monstera or Albo Monsteras, just like cuttings, and they both just didn't grow ever. And so I cut them up and propagated them, and I was so happy when I was successul, but the variegation's not there.
So this is an Albo Monstera.
It should be, but regarding, I'm sure.
That's cool. You know, I like how you said you buy kind of projects for a good deal, because sometimes it's really not worth spending all this money on the plant and it die anyways.
Right.
So if it was a project and it turns out great, then that's amazing.
Right.
So I love getting plants at a deal. So before we end here, I'm just going to ask a couple questions about these light setups, because that's one thing I would be worried about, is having these lights and wires with all the moisture. Is the special lights, like, how does that work?
So I get the waterproof lights on Amazon, which is iffy, you know. So I just kept an eye on them, and they've done well. One of the dilemmas I had when I set up the cabinet was actually lighting at the base.
Oh.
And in the middle, really, because I had plenty of light at the top, and because I was inspired by Benji Plant, he had the short one.
Oh, okay.
And so his is
you didn't
fine.
have to worry about that.
Right. And
but
so
I do notice now, yeah, you do have lights down there.
Yes, and another thing I did is I have lights on the inside of the seam.
Okay, on the door. Let me go from this angle here. Yeah, you can see. She has the lights on there. How did you attach these? Oh, I see.
I just have some
sticky
double. You know what? I have the Velcro double-sided.
Right on the edge.
I tried the double-sided, like, sticky tape. Did not work.
Okay, so get the Velcro, guys, not this double-sided sticky tape.
Yes. And then my dilemma as well was this cord.
Yeah.
I had it originally coming from this light here, and I always had it dangling when I'd shut the door. But I found if I instead took the cord, fished it through that hole in the back, and then
over the top.
Now that I can just fish it over the top.
Okay.
When I close
out
it.
The way. Okay.
Another thing I have is this weather stripping.
On the edge here. Oh, this is a thick one. Okay,
yes.
Hold on. Because I don't usually see it that thick. Okay, there. So yeah, this whole piece is her weather stripping here.
So the only issue I'd say with this is that you can't just close it one after the other. You have to close it at the same time.
Yeah. I mean, that's something we can live with.
Yeah.
And you can see how there is absolutely no... Hold on. This is a hard angle to see. Okay, there it is. It's completely sealed. Nice. And so after a while, I don't know if I caught it in the beginning, you'll see that this completely like fogs up and the humidity stays in there so well. It's clear now because we've had it open this whole time, but it's a great setup.
On the sides, you can actually see the foam I used.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So it's Great Stuff foam, I believe it's what it's called, and I use a ton of it.
It looks like it.
And luckily, it's a bit cheaper than the silicone.
Okay.
And you mentioned those kind of like lumps in the wall.
Yeah, how you have it bumped out like on this part here. It's nice and built out.
So what I did was when I was foaming it in, first off, I had this on its back.
Yeah.
And I stuck some pots
I've seen some people do that. Okay.
Yes, and then I foamed around the pots.
So you don't have to use too much foam.
Right. And so my only concern that I still have now is there's no drainage hole. And so I have to monitor, how moist the soil is, or really the moss is there.
And down here you have a layer.
Oh, and I did forget to mention, I have a drainage layer here at the base.
Okay, I see. Of leca?
Yes, leca. And what this does is make sure that there's no excess water just sitting in the moss. And so I have this layer. Here I'd say it's 1 inch and 2 inches, and then I have a mesh. It's pretty much like a window screen over here.
Over the front of it, or even under it?
Just over the leca here.
Oh, so at the bottom.
Yes.
Okay.
And then the moss is a mixture of sphagnum moss, perlite, orchid bark, and charcoal.
Your classic airway chunky mix.
Yes.
Okay.
And it's not perfect. I mean, I still have bits of foam that you can see on the edges and little things. I mean, even within it, you can see.
But yeah, but I feel like we're distracted by all the great foliage, so we don't care about that.
Well, I have to look at it all day.
That's true. You have to see it, yeah. But it looks awesome, though. Very awesome. So how often do you have to mist, water this cabinet?
Ever since I added the seals on the side, I feel like I only have to do it every 4 or 5 days.
Not bad.
Not bad. If I didn't have the stripping, it would be like every 2 days.
And that's crazy.
Yeah.
I feel like 4 or 5 days is usual. So I know this is not exactly plant related, but I know some people like vivariums and things here. So let's see if we can find him. Oh, there he is. What's his name?
Kuma.
Kuma. Do you know what kind of lizard he is?
Monitor.
Monitor.
Yes.
Very cool. Hi. And we have down here, which we can't see him right now, and I'm kind of okay with that. There is some type of python?
A ball python.
Ball python.
Yes.
Yeah. She's gonna send us a picture because we can't see him right now. But yeah, very, very cool. These are fake plants or real plants in there?
The very sad one in the back right is a sad snake plant.
Oh, I see. It's cute.
Yeah, so reptiles tend to walk over everything. And so I tried really hard to have plants in there, but
you kept breaking them.
Yes.
So that is it for this houseplant tour. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. Skye has an awesome collection, from the cabinet to the corner. Everything is really awesome. Even the animals, a little bit of everything here. But thank you so much for sharing that with us. Do you have any socials, the plant-related socials that you want people to know about?
I have an account on Instagram called Skaterson where I kind of go more in depth with the pictures.
Okay, all right. So I will put it on the screen so you guys can check that out if you're interested in seeing that. But thank you very much. And if you're interested, did you say what's name?
Thank you for having me.
Oh, of course. No, thank you. I put this request on Facebook in one of the groups like this. Anybody want to share their collection, please? Because there's, like I said, there's so plenty people in the DFW area, and she responded to their request, so I really appreciate that. So yeah, and if you guys are interested, you can watch this next video.